Hi everyone, Mark from MT.TrainRestorations back again with a project, this time for a customer that sent me his 254E engine and asked if I could help him. Wires are bad and the wheels are bad, so this video is going to show how I do that.
Okay, I'm looking at Jim's train. I took the shell apart. He sent me some wheels. I could use some of these. I have one plain wheel that's pretty good in stock. Looking at these, a plain wheel needs to be replaced over here. This plain wheel looks pretty good shape. I got to check out what's going on with the axle, but so that's the plain wheel side. We got a chip out of here. So on the drive side, we got damage on both wheels. So we have two drive wheels that are solid. But this one here has a little bit of a defect. It has a fine crack in it. It may not hurt for several years. I'm not sure what Jim wants to do with that one. But there's a fine crack and a little bit of flaking around the gear hub. But you know, it'd probably work for quite a while, but that gear hub may crack right off. But this one was in the plastic. It looks pretty good shape. It's a Bowser wheel, so it's fairly new. These are all spoked. I mean, I could put a spoke wheel on temporarily, but I want to talk to Jim. Now, this one here is in pretty good shape. It's a solid. It's got the gear on it already. I can clean it up, but you can see a little bit of, let's see, getting the light better, a little bit of cracking around the hub. Okay, so I talked to the owner, and I took the wheels off. As you could see, that was the main discussion. He wanted me to replace the wheels, rewire, and you know, just whatever else it needs, tune up, clean up. So I do have some wheels. He sent me some wheels, but none of them are really that great. We have one new one, but he'd rather just get all four new, which I'm going to take care of for him. We'll put these aside. They're pretty bad. We'll pop the gears off. You reuse the gears, clean all those up, reuse the axles. We have one that might be questionable. We'll have to see how it works, but it looks okay, but we'll try it out. And we'll go from there and see if we need to replace any axles. So other than that, I'm going to start the cleanup process and the wiring. Little by little, we'll take this apart and change out these wires, get some of this tape off, see what we got underneath here, and we'll go from there. I'm going to use I want to take a peek and see what we got covered up here. Oop. Looks like we have some splices going on. Yeah, I've got several splices going on. So the wire's all old and cracked up. We'll chase it out. I think this is a power feed. Looks like some of these are original. They're not bad shape for originals. You can see where Lionel used to twist them up, keep them tight, keep them within the chassis. They would do that. So we want to methodically do these. So these two, I think I have a real teeny little socket for these. I do believe this might be it. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to get these wires off. These are for the lights. And as I said, one goes for the back light, one goes for the front light. as you shift gears. I'm just going to snap them off right now, and we'll clean those lugs off. We'll use these over if we can. These are the sockets for the light. This one here's got a crack, a piece of it cracked off, but we shall see what we find here. Just want to get the wires out from underneath these if we can. Hard to get the socket in there. Break this free. Get the wires out from underneath. Keep it clean. Okay. Get all this out of there. Let's see if we can get this one off. Here we go. Get the wire out of there. There we go. Okay. Okay, these two clean. These are for the lights. So we got a negative, positive. I'm going to clean these wires all up. So with that said, this used to go to the switch up front. We want to change that out as well. Let's follow this down and see where we're going. Copper wire is okay. We want to get a new one on here, so we're going to pop this around and see where she's going. And we'll follow this around. This is coming off the field coil. This is also coming off the field coil. So what I'm going to do, we're going to salvage this wire. We're going to sleeve it all the way down. The wire's fine. We'll add a new piece to it. Get this all off of there. Yeah, it's coming off the top of the field coil. We'll be able to get sleeve all the way down on there. We'll get some of the fine shrink wrap down in here. Then we'll be able to add a little bit of wire to this and solder it and shrink wrap it all as we do that for a connection on here. So we'll be able to do that with some shrink wrap. Let's see if we got a piece here, get it fairly long enough, because we'll be able to push this sheet wrap all the way down to the top of the coil where it ties into the field, to the winding. So we'll be able to do that. And we'll take these, this is coming off of this end of the field coil for that. One end. These wires aren't bad, actually. These are pretty good shape. So we're going to trace all these out and replace wires and take care of these here. Take this off here. Get that off of there. Oop. There we go. Get the switch back. Okay. Also take the gears off because we're going to clean all this up. Yeah, okay. Messy stuff. Throw that away. Okay. So we got that off of there. We're going to clean this switch up. Get it ready to go back together. I'm going to degrease some of this. We'll trace out some more wires. There's the little aluminum shim that Jim was talking about. He used around the one axle when he put the axle back on a while back. We're going to continue on this and I'll be back. Alright, so The next step, I took the brush plate off, as you can see. I'm going to clean this out a little bit. A little alcohol doesn't look too bad. For all the playtime it has on, it's not bad at all. Clean this out a little bit here. Clean where the armature comes through. Clean out these brush holders. They're not bad at all, which is nice. Clean this out here a little bit. The brushes are in good shape. They're stranded copper brushes. As you can see, these are original. These are original from Lionel, the way they came. Clean these up. One is a solid, one is a stranded brush. They'll go back in, they'll be fine. Clean up around here. I cleaned the armature, it was pitch black. I used a fiberglass pencil on it, which these worked great. If anybody does a lot of armature cleaning, it pays to get these. They work wonderful. They clean up all contactors very well. I'm going to use toothpick. Get any residue. It's down in between the commutators. It's pretty clean. And we'll be ready to put that back together. Clean this off a little bit back under here. Get some of that old grease. I'll get some degreaser on this as well. Throw that one away. So we'll be able to put this back together, put the brushes back in, button this back up, but I'm going to change the wires. These are the last two wires to be replaced. I'm going to clean these up as well and change those out. So that'll be next. So I'm going to put the brushes in, put this plate back on after I change the wires out. What I've done so far is changed out all the wires but the power button. We need a power wire extension to go to the switch and a ground wire to go up here from the switch. So that will be after we put the new brush wires on. You can see all the new connections. We put two wires on for the lights, front light, back light. We put on all the other power negative wires from the field coil back to the switch. And now we're going to change these two brush wires. Do that and I'll be back with more. So stay tuned. Okay, I'm back, and what I've done was, as I said, we changed out the wires for the brushes. I did them with a yellow wire and a green wire, just to keep separate what brush is which. I mean, I usually try to use a red wire for, the hot side and so on. But I used a lot of sleeves here. I wanted to protect, what wires we did use. So I put shrink wrap on a lot of them just to give them some added protection. But these are out of harm's way up here. For the most part, they're not riding on anything, sharp edges or so on. So we got everything rewired. The switch is ready to go back into the frame. It'll sit like that. This will bolt into here. This will fit into here nicely. It'll be ready to go once we get the wheels here. And they were ordered and they are being shipped as we speak. So I hope to have them in the next day or two. Cleaned up. We took the gears, cleaned all the gears, and it's running very smoothly, quiet and clean. Cleaned up the brass, cleaned up the nickel plate best we can, and so on and so forth. So that'll be ready to go. All we have to do now is put wheels on, and we got new brushes in, or clean the brushes are in there. New wires, as I said, and we cleaned up everything. So it's looking pretty good shape. This is probably, I don't know, close to 80 years old. Maybe a little bit longer, I didn't look it up. We got the gears off the wheels, cleaned those up. They'll be ready to press on to the new wheels when they get here. We're going to use these axles unless I need to replace. I have axles, so it's not a big deal. So we're ready to go. It's just a matter of waiting on the wheels now. I did test this out. I put old wheels back on it and tested it. It seems to run as it should. The lights switched as they should. I have those in the shell, wired, ready to go when we go to put it back together. And I'm going to spend a little bit of time while I'm waiting. I'm trying to clean up some of the trims and so on here. I cleaned up a little bit of the latches, latch couplers. So we'll just do a light cleaning. It's in good shape. We're going to leave it. It's all going to be natural. I'm not going to disturb any of the original finish. We'll just do a little light cleaning on everything and put it back together and send it back off the gym. So until I get the wheels, that'll be it for now. We will come back in a day or so when the wheels come, and we'll pop those on and we'll put it on the track for a test run, and we'll see how that goes. Until then, this is Mark, MT Restorations, working on another project, waiting for parts. See you soon. Bye-bye.
This is a 254E, circa 1927 to 29. I know that because of the pendulum unit on the back, the brass piece, as you can see, that enabled the engine to reverse or go forward by just giving power from your transformer, and instead of reaching underneath or using a switch on the side. They were popular for a couple years, but then Lionel switched to a manual unit, which has 4 contactors on it that stuck out of the side of the engine cab. These were popular because that made it almost automatic, like an E unit. All you had to do is give it power to have the pendulum swing back and forth for forward or reverse. This is a view from the bottom of the pendulum. You can see the lever itself, and to the right of that you could see a spring and a bar, an arm, that actually is magnetically pulled up when the coil gets power, and it will move the pendulum back and forth. You can see on the left some of the terminals for the wiring. The green wire is one brush, the yellow wire is another brush. And directly behind that, up towards the top, you can see where power is attached to one terminal on that bottom corner there, and then to the right of that, behind the yellow wire, is where the negative side of the field coil is connected. The 2 terminals to the left that don't have anything on it yet are actually for the lights. The front light and the rear light will switch from front to back when it goes forward or reverse. Here is just another view from the top of the pendulum unit. As you can see, the brush wires, green and yellow, and the hot lines coming off of the switch in the front. And to the right, it's hard to see, but there's a terminal for the negative side of the field coil. Okay, this view is at the top of the pendulum unit. You can see the black wire and the screw has a little arm that sticks out and a set of contact points there. When it receives power, completes the loop, it pushes down on that little bar that's underneath it, which makes contact with the field coil. When power is released, it goes off and goes in the other direction. When it pushes down, it'll go in the opposite direction. That's was Lionel's answer prior to the E unit, the 3-position switch. This is better than a manual switch because you don't really have to get up and go over across your field layout and flick a switch. You can do it from your transformer. That's how this works.
Working just like new.